Saturday, Vanny fans. How's it going? I hope life is treating you well so far this week. I'm out here flying solo right now. Jake had his second dose of the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine yesterday, and so he is not feeling super great. Yesterday, his arm was progressively getting more and more sore, and today, we just took his temperature. No real fever, like high 98s, which for him is a little elevated, but nothing clinically significant. He just feels like garbage, which apparently is kind of the way that this is going for a lot of folks. There is a bit of altruism involved in going through this. Point being, cheers to all of our healthcare, frontline, essential working folks out there, making sure that people can live their lives in a somewhat safe way. No real thing these days, but there you have it. So anyway, I had every intention of coming out here and working on some wiring. And I probably will, but I'm procrastinating. And the reason is it's 1,000,000 degrees here today. Now, does it compare at all to this past summer when we were toiling away in here, literally sweating buckets? No, not even a little. However, it is a big change from the way it's been lately, which has been like the mid to low 60s and low humidity. It's been delightful. And so that means that the minute it pops up into the 70s and the humidity is 100%, I'm just extremely uncomfortable. But I guess I'll show you what's going on before I dive in, because I will. I'm gonna be accountable. I'm gonna do it. Anyway, this is a little 12-volt outlet. I have already wired it. I stuck the wires all the way underneath this counter, down underneath the bed platform, and out to the DC fuse block, where all I need to do is snap down the wires and then test it out. It really shouldn't take that much work, but I'm afraid it's not going to work, and that means that I'm going to have to get onto the platform and figure out where the problem is. And then I figured the best way to test out the outlet would be to test out another device that we recently got. This is an electric kettle, if you can believe it. Basically, you stick your water in there, you put it on this base. This goes into the cigarette plug, and then it heats up water, apparently to boiling. Anyway, I figured I'd try and make myself a cup of coffee, because that's the whole point of this. I'm figuring if I plan to have an easy way that does not require me to get out the stove and boil water to make coffee in the morning, that I'm more likely to make my own coffee and not just constantly go through drive-thrus. So anyway, that's the theory. We shall see how it works. Okay, I know this looks like an absolute rat's nest, but I promise there is some method to this madness. First of all, everything is organized until about here. See, it looks so much better without that. So anyway, here's the deal with this. The outlet that I was showing you earlier has two sides. One side goes to the cigarette plug. The other side goes to two USB ports. So basically what I decided to do is, okay, this little 18 gauge that came with the socket, we can use this for charging a phone. We can use this for running any sort of USB appliance or device. But when we're talking about cigarette plug that pulls a little more current, I wanted the thicker wires. So we have two sets of wires here. These colorful ones go to the USB side. These less colorful ones go to the cigarette plug side. I've already fitted the ends of the USB side with fork connectors that go straight into this DC fuse block. These guys I still gotta do, and I didn't even realize that I hadn't done it, but that's okay. What I wanna do first is test the USB side, because I'm concerned that since these wires were spliced a whole bunch and messed around with by me, that they might not work. These ones, it's a solid wire all the way from the socket to here, so I'm not as concerned that this is gonna work or not. So what I'm gonna do before I do anything else, I'm gonna test these out and see if they can power something, if the USB side will power something. If they do, awesome. What I'm gonna do is then yank them off this. I'm gonna cut these guys to size. I'm gonna stick them in where they belong. I'm gonna fit them first, obviously, with the correct connectors, the correct fork connectors, and then we'll be good to go. And the outlet should function. Okay, I'm thinking a 3 amp fuse is probably going to be sufficient for what we're doing here. I guess we should put this right. No. Okay, so again, this is just for testing. I'm probably going to have to shorten these wires, but for now, I just want to see if this works. So we're going to do positive to positive. The positive is the one that goes to the fuse and that is on this side. This side is where the negatives go. It's basically a built-in negative bus bar. And then when we do the negative, we're probably going to see a tiny little spark. That's what's supposed to happen. Oh, maybe not. I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign. Oh my god, please, no. Please, please, please work. Okay, now it's time to go see if these wires and that little pink fuse will make something happen with the USB side only of this outlet. I've got good news, friends! It looks like power is being supplied because it lit up. Okay, so let's see what this is. There. I'm gonna leave a little extra just in case my wire stripping goes awry. I got 2 different gauges of wire that I'm working with here. These guys are 12 gauge. 12 gauge is pretty much always yellow. Where are you at, buddies? I know I didn't use all of you yet. Shice. Shice. Okay, maybe I can get away with using the next size up, which is below. And then the 18 gauge guys are the red, or pink in this case. I think I'm about to get rained on. Am I about to get poured on? Do I need to stop this? I really hope not. Now, here's how this works. This metal fork comes down into about there, so you need the wire to actually make contact with that, and then you use heat to make this plastic shrink around it and make a nice tight seal. Now, if you look at your wire stripper, you'll see there are all different gauge wires that this can accommodate for. We are using 12 gauge, so we're going to use this little area here to hopefully just strip away the plastic and not actually cut the wire wound. There we go, that was a pretty good strip. We use this top part with blue in the middle to crimp it, kind of keep it in place. Pretty good crimping. And now I don't have a heat gun. I should not use an open flame for this, but I don't have a heat gun. I'm not gonna buy a heat gun. I tried a hair dryer, it didn't really work. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna hold it away from everything that could be damaged. Got all 4 of my wires there. I'm gonna let them cool down. Then I'm gonna actually triple check my work by covering them all with some electrical tape. I'm gonna jam them on there, and then we're gonna boil some water and see what happens. Okay, friends, both of the outlets have been wired. It is now time to see if I can boil some water. We'll just see what happens if it boils. I don't know. I don't know how this is supposed to work. Okay, it's been maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 max, and as you can see, it's almost boiling. So I am going to get out my other things to make tea happen. I was gonna make coffee, but I don't have pre-ground decaf and I don't want to deal with that, so I'm going to make some decaf chai. We're almost there, 2 degrees. Okay, we have hot water. Handy dandy little mugs here. Since I like my chai latte style, I'm going to put a little French vanilla creamer in it. Okay, friends, here goes nothing. Whew, it's hot. It's hot. It's super tasty though. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm thinking maybe in the future, it's a little weak. I've never used a strainer like that before where it just like ran through so fast. It usually like kind of spins up and then it like slowly drains through. This one just like drain straight through. Did I do something wrong? I might have done something wrong. But point being, this was a success. This tea is warm enough. I can feel that I probably burned my tongue a little bit. So it definitely got hot enough to make hot tea, hot coffee. It's only enough for 1 mug at a time, so we'll have to do 2 or make it double strength and then water it down or something. I don't know. I don't know how we're gonna do this with 2 people, but for 1 person, it was done in 15 minutes. It's delicious. It's totally hitting the spot. And it probably tastes a little sweeter because I made this outlet work. Like, I made this whole thing work. I did everything here in the van on my own in less than a day. I literally wired an outlet, boiled water using a 12-volt device, and made myself some delicious afternoon appropriate caffeine-free tea, because if I were to drink caffeine right now, I would be up all night. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching me do this. If you liked coming along with me today on my adventure to make myself a cup of tea, please be sure to like, share, subscribe. Use all of the buttons below that YouTube gives you to show your love and support for us, for Vanny DeVito, for van life, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers!